Well, we've reached the end of the day. I'd say it was a long day, but evening came very quickly. And it turned out to be a good day. I didn't do as much productive work as I was hoping to, but all in all, I'd say it went nicely. I took a nice long nap. I finished reading a book. I think I already said that earlier. I have terrible memory, so I'm sure I'll find out when I finish editing this. and I picked up a game I've been meaning to play for a while. I'm sure it'll probably appear backwards on the camera, but I picked up The World Ends With You, a game I've been meaning to play for years now because of Neo, The World Ends With You on the Switch, and I do want to try that because I've heard really good things about it. And with that, I decided to pick up the original game. I've had it in my backlog for a long time, but I decided to start playing it today. And honestly, the gameplay was a little hard to get used to. I wasn't quite sure how to deal with the touch controls, but I figured it out in the end. And I mean, I haven't played much of it yet. I actually put the DS in sleep mode on a cutscene because I'm going to be heading to bed soon because I do have work tomorrow and I like to wake up early. So, I'm sure I'll probably be doing an early morning vlog by tomorrow. We'll have to see. And after that, my girlfriend and I watched the first episode of the anime for The World Ends With You, which is really done really well. I was actually really impressed with it. I did kind of dip into spoiler territory because I'm not even done with day 2 of the game yet, but I really liked it. The music was fantastic. Calling is an amazing song, and I'm so happy they used it for the freaking opening. And what else? Well, just the animation in general was great. The art style is very smooth, and I really appreciated the whole presentation. And honestly, that's about all I did with my day. I've already talked to you guys earlier about what I did, playing Trails of Cold Steel and everything. I've been kind of struggling with that lately. Something I've had a lot of trouble with, especially the older I get, is the ability to stick to a game and continue to play it like for an extended amount of time. That's just something I've never really been able to do for some reason. At least it's something I used to do as a kid, but the older I got and the bigger my game collection grew, the less I was able to do such a thing. And it eventually got to a point where I just have all these games and like I have 3 days off of my work week. Like I have work 4 days and I get 3 days off. And I have all this spare time and I have all these creative amazing projects I want to do and all these amazing games to play as well. But next thing I know, I just sit there bored, unsure what to do because it's almost like the paralysis of having so many choices, I think. And I stick to a choice for a little bit, but then I very quickly burn out, and then I move on to something else, very quickly get burnt out on that, and it's a repeating pattern. It's been happening a lot with the Cold Steel games. I played the first Trails of Cold Steel on and off since I got it over a year ago. I think in March of 2022, it'll have been 2 years since I got it, and that's what happened with that game. I played it a whole bunch, and then I just stopped for months on end, and then I played it a whole bunch again, and the next thing I knew, I beat the game. But that hasn't exactly been the case with Trails of Cold Steel 2 yet. It's been a shorter amount of time. I've only had Cold Steel 2 for about a month now, I think. I think it's been a month. A little over. I think I got it at the beginning of January, because I got it the moment I beat Trails of Cold Steel 1. And I've been playing it on and off. There were a few days last week where I played for 10 hours at a time, and I just busted out the story. I was doing all sorts of quests, just destroying bosses, and I was on a roll. And I think I got really burnt out on the game because of that. And in the end, I mean, I'm still making progress. Every time I play it, I make some semblance of progress. But that progress has been significantly shortened by the fact that I've just gotten burnt out on it. I talked to my girlfriend about it, and I legitimately asked because I was curious. I was like, how do you stick to a single game at a time? Because that's something I've been struggling with a lot. And because, like, unlike me, she actually commits to games and plays them to the end. And she just explained that if she's not in the mood for whatever game she's committed to, she plays like a more casual, not very story-heavy game like Minecraft or something. And it occurred to me that I don't have many of those. My bad habit that's formed over the years is that I'll play a game and want to focus on it, but when I get bored of it, or I should mention that the game I focus on is very story heavy. I've been playing plenty of story heavy games for many years. Once I get bored of it, I move on to another game that also has plenty of story to offer. And it's just an endless pattern until next thing you know, I've got a billion unfinished JRPGs under my belt. I'll get back to one I haven't played in months or even years, have no idea what's going on in the story, so I end up restarting, and the cycle begins anew. That's been happening for a long time, and to be honest, I've been kind of tempted to do that with Trails of Cold Steel too, because I've been playing Trails in the Sky second chapter on easy mode, but after I already played about 6 hours of it on another save file on normal mode. And I was playing it for a little bit. I got to the beginning of chapter 1, did a little bit of the story, and then I did one of the monster quests, and then I just stopped, and I started realizing that my patience for video games in general has been going downhill for a while. So I ultimately decided to start playing games on easier difficulties to see if maybe that'll help spark my love for them again. And sure enough, it did. I got Ys 6. Oh, no, not Ys 6. It was Othenfeldgana, I believe it was, which is a remake of Ys 3. And I played it on the easiest difficulty, or I started on the easiest difficulty, and Steam went ahead and picked on me by going, "Oh my gosh, you think the game's too hard?" Like, you get an achievement saying more like add all the yellow if you start on the very easy difficulty. But I was like, you know what? I don't give a crap. I just want to enjoy the game, man. It's like, if I want to play on easy mode, I'll play on easy mode. I have nothing to prove. It's like, I love video games, but they haven't consumed my life to the point where they define me. Like, they have defined a lot of elements of my life, but they're not all that makes me who I am. Like, I'm very aware of who I am as a person, even though some days I don't feel like it, but most of the time I'm very aware of who I am, and I'm happy to be who I am. So even if I play video games on an easy difficulty and everyone's like, "Hey, you suck at video games," it's like, yeah, I do. I'm well aware of that. I'm just playing the game to enjoy it, man. I'm not trying to get good. It's like, there are some games I'll play for the challenge, like Shin Megami Tensei, but that's about it. Anyway, this whole tangent was to say that I restarted Trails in the Sky second chapter on easy mode, and I've had a significantly better time with the game. Like, it feels nice to be able to progress the plot without worrying about getting stuck, or like fighting enemies without the battles getting unnecessarily long and annoying. And I've been very tempted to do the same with Trails of Cold Steel 2, but I think I'm going to pass on that, because I am 62 hours into that game, and I'm not prepared to sink another 62 hours seeing stuff I've already seen, only for battles to be easier. I mean, the game's only going to get harder anyway, so I might as well just accept it. That actually leads me to another topic on that game. The fact that I think the game's actually kind of helped my work ethic a little bit, because last week, like the week I mentioned where I just spent hours upon hours playing Trails of Cold Steel 2, when I went back to work that week, all of a sudden I was speeding through everything and I finished my work so fast, and it made me realize that Trails of Cold Steel 2 felt more like a job than my actual job. If that doesn't say anything about how much work goes into playing that game. I thought it was a really nice experience, actually, and kind of thinking about it that way, it put a lot of things in perspective. Like, I take pride in my work. Like, I'm not a big fan of capitalism, but I mean, thankfully my job's not very corporate, so I don't really have anything to be ashamed of in terms of where I work. So I feel like I can do my job and be proud of what I do. That's a long enough rant for a video game. I'm not holding my tripod up, I actually have it, like, acting like a tripod for once, and just standing on the ground, so it's just letting me kind of rant and talk without my arms getting tired by holding it. And I thought this was a nice position. Like, this whole area kind of makes for a nice background, and I like it. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I need to get these clips edited together, render the video, and then finally go to bed. It's been a great day. I hope you've had a good day yourself, and I will see you back here tomorrow.